Somehow within that relationship, I lost my husband to Duane Martin.
So, all right, I open the door to Duane's dressing room, and that's when I see Duane and having anal with Will.
And young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mill, Bryshere Gray.
It's pretty wild how many A-listers are getting dragged into the whole Diddy mess, isn't it? Like we've got Usher, Meek Mill, Cuba Gooding Jr., Young Miami, and now the latest additions, Will Smith and his BFF Duane Martin. So even though Will and Duane weren't specifically named in the recent lawsuit against Diddy, Lisa Raye McCoy is saying they should have been included anyway because they're allegedly involved in similar shenanigans. Now, Will Smith's been caught up in some spicy rumors before. Remember back in November 2023 when his former assistant Bilal spilled some major tea during an interview with YouTuber Tasha K? Allegedly, Will and Duane were caught in some compromising adult activities in Duane's dressing room. I opened the door to Duane's dressing room and that's when I see Duane having sex with Will, Bilal said. There was a couch and Will was bent over on the couch and Duane was standing up K wording him. It was there, he added.
So, all right, I open the door to Duane's dressing room, and that's when I see Duane and having anal with Will.
Bilal explained that he was searching for Smith after receiving calls from producers on his walkie-talkie and phone, urging him to locate Will and bring him back to the set of an unnamed production. Will denied it, of course, the claims made by Bilal as unequivocally false. A spokesperson for the Men in Black actor called the assertions as completely fabricated and said Smith was considering taking legal action over the accusations. But that stirred up some old allegations Lisa Raye made against Duane, claiming he stole her husband and encouraged him to cheat.
He became disrespectful with introducing my husband to different women, and women that we actually knew as friends and associates.
At the time, she claimed that after she introduced her then-husband, former Turks and Caicos Islands premier Michael Missick, to Duane, the two grew so close that she ultimately lost her partner to her co-star. She also alleged that the actor disrespected her by encouraging her politician husband to be unfaithful to her. I lost my husband to Duane Martin, the actress stated during the 2019 interview, which is now recirculating around the web.
Somehow within that relationship, I lost my husband to Duane Martin.
Lisa Raye walked down the aisle with Michael in April 2006, and soon after she decided to put her acting career on pause and left Hollywood for Turks and Caicos so she could focus full-time on her newfound job as First Lady. She explained on Unfiltered that leaving her friends and family behind and adjusting to her new life was not easy for her. Here I am on this island. Yes, it's beautiful, but I have no friends, no family, I have no career, she dished. In addition, she said that Michael was traveling a lot for his work, while she would stay behind to partake in various engagements or appearances on the island. Feeling lonely and homesick, she decided to invite her close friend Duane to come visit her and Michael in Turks and Caicos. But she called introducing her former co-star to her husband the worst thing she ever did.
Really, to be quite honest, then he became friends with Duane Martin, which used to be one of my friends on All of Us. And when I introduced them, that was one of the worst things I ever did.
Duane and Michael became better friends than me and my husband were, and I couldn't understand that for the love of God, she said. Duane introduced my husband to different women that we actually knew as friends and associates.
He became disrespectful with introducing my husband to different women, and women that we actually knew as friends and associates.
I'm thinking, you're my friend, I introduced you to him. What are you doing? I'm still kind of confused by that one. She concluded, needless to say, me and Duane don't F with each other at all. F him.
I introduced you to him. What are you doing? I'm still kind of confused about that one. So needless to say, me and Duane don't with each other at all. Him.
Sounds like Duane might have a pattern with married men. And then there's Trisha Paytas chiming in, accusing Will Smith of allegedly pushing her male dancers into some seriously uncomfortable situations. According to her, those dancers found themselves doing more than just dancing, and not by choice.
How about worry about your cheating husband my male dancers, when they didn't want to.
Rumor also has it that Will, Duane, and Diddy might be hosting some not-so-innocent gatherings. Jaguar Wright even claims they lure in younger men under the guise of mentoring, only to allegedly force them into relationships that leave them traumatized.
And young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mill, Bryshere Gray,
And speaking of Meek Mill, he alongside Usher were exposed in Lil Rod's lawsuit as one of the people that often came to these freak-offs. Rodney didn't explicitly mention Meek Mill and Usher's names in the lawsuit like he did with everybody else, but he gave some descriptions that had very specific details that pretty much made everybody know who he was talking about. Like, he described Meek as a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj and described Usher as a male R&B singer who performed at the Super Bowl and had a successful Vegas residency.
Mr. Combs informed Mr. Jones that he had engaged in as a rapper. 5, that's redacted. Look, 5, he's a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj. Meek Mill, like, come on, bro, like, what the And then the next person, R&B singer, 6, redacted. Look, he performed at the Super Bowl and had a successful Vegas residency. Usher!
Now, I'm sure you all know Meek is definitely a rapper from Philadelphia who dated Nicki from 2015 to 2017. Usher also just had a very successful Vegas residency which reportedly grossed over $100 million, and he did in fact perform at the Super Bowl a couple weeks ago. Anyway, going back to Rodney's lawsuit, he claimed that he witnessed Usher and Diddy hooking up several times and making out with the girls that Young Miami and Justin would bring for him. Rodney recalled the time where they were partying on Diddy's yacht, and he saw both Meek and Usher messing with several girls. Now, when this news hit, Meek went into overdrive on social media, firing off tweets left and right in a frantic attempt to clear his name. But let's just say, the online community wasn't exactly buying what he was. He also got into a huge Twitter feud with DJ Academics, who was only reporting on the news. Like, imagine attacking somebody who's just doing his job. One of his tweets said, "I'm from Philly. I don't do or freaky Molly. Nobody won't even offer me because I'm that heavy. No man or Watt would ever approach me about gay activity, and the whole place don't get flipped." Woke up seeing this on every blog like they know I'm coming a lol. Things quieted down for a bit, with folks realizing that Meek seemed to be on the edge of a mental breakdown, and nobody wanted to push him further. That is, until Diddy's ex-bodyguard dropped a bombshell, an audio clip allegedly featuring Meek and Diddy. The shockwaves were palpable. I mean, the voices on that recording, pretty darn close to Meek and Diddy. And the content? Let's just say it wasn't easy listening. Meek's screams, reportedly in serious distress, sent shivers down the spine of anyone who heard it. Trigger warning, this audio is very disturbing and very sensitive. Now, the ex-bodyguard in question who recorded and leaked the audio made an entire video narrating how it came out. He said it happened during one of Diddy's freak-offs, and he decided to lean by the door to record what he was hearing because he was shocked to see Meek allowing Diddy to pound him like this. He said Diddy intentionally spiked everybody's drinks at that party so they would be too and too high to even know what's going on. But he didn't drink, and that's why he was sober enough to witness what he and Meek were doing.
Like, all the champagne was spiked. Everybody was passed the out. I don't drink. Diddy had that man in the room. Look, yes, I put my ear to the door and I brought the phone because Diddy started going in overdrive. I ain't know what the was going on, but I just heard slapping against cheeks.
I mean, do you all remember that video circulating where Meek was chilling in the pool, looking a bit, well, uncomfortable while Diddy hovered nearby, calling him daddy and talking about Meek putting in work? Yeah, that one. It's hard to forget. Some folks are connecting the dots, suggesting it might have been filmed right after whatever went down between Meek and Diddy in that bedroom.
Man, you doing it, man. Serve it, daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
And to make matters even worse, Meek was caught following a page on Twitter that exclusively posts videos of hounding each other. Maybe he was trying to learn some new positions for Diddy. Who knows? But as soon as people caught him, he immediately unfollowed the page. And if that's not enough to raise eyebrows, there's more. An old song of Meek's surfaced online recently, and the lyrics, let's just say they paint a pretty vivid picture. In the track, Meek talks about chasing his Hollywood dreams, but there's this whole section where he seems to confess to getting involved with Diddy in some not-so-savory ways to make it big. And then he's asking for forgiveness for his actions.
I hope they forgive me for what I did with Diddy. Dream chasers. I hope they forgive me for what I did with Diddy.
It's truly heartbreaking to see the situation unfold, and it's becoming increasingly apparent that Diddy has been taking advantage of Meek for a long time. It seems Meek felt compelled to endure whatever Diddy put him through, perhaps in the hope that it would somehow catapult his career to new heights. But as we can see, that plan clearly backfired. Meek's career has taken a serious hit. He's been dropped from his label, his latest album didn't meet expectations, and now he's facing isolation within the industry as other rappers distance distanced themselves upon learning about his association with Diddy. It's a harsh reality check for Meek, and it's clear that his involvement with Diddy has had far-reaching consequences. And as for Bryshere Gray, his exit from the industry wasn't exactly by choice. The rumor mill is buzzing with whispers that Bryshere got the old blackball treatment from none other than Will Smith and Diddy. Why, you ask? Well, apparently Bryshere wanted out of their alleged freak-offs, and that didn't sit too well with the big names. So, cue the consequences and enter the cancel culture. Bryshere was out of the industry faster than you can say Hollywood drama. Now, if you're wondering how he got into this mess in the first place, let me lay it out for you. Back in his teenage days, Bryshere crossed paths with Charlie Mack, a talent manager extraordinaire. Charlie, being the magician he is, snagged Bryshere an audition for Empire, and the dude aced it, landing the role. Fast forward to Hollywood, with Charlie playing manager and guiding Bryshere through the industry maze. Charlie wasn't just any manager. He was the plug. He had connections that could make your head spin, linking Bryshere with the big shots in Tinseltown, including none other than Will Smith. Will and Bryshere hit it off like a house on fire right from the get-go. Bryshere was it on Empire, and Will was all kinds of impressed. So, naturally, a mentorship dynamic kicked in, making it seem like the dream team in the making. I mean, who wouldn't want to be mentored by the Fresh Prince himself? Now, this sounds like a sweet deal on paper, but you know how the saying goes. Not everything that glitters is gold. So, after Diddy and Will allegedly roped Bryshere into these freak-offs, promising to boost his career in return, after a few rounds of this explicit lifestyle, Bryshere had enough and opted out, finding it all too much to handle. Now, Bryshere's decision to distance himself from Diddy and Will came right before Empire wrapped up, leaving him jobless. Post-Empire, Bryshere's life took a nosedive, and initially it seemed like he might not have handled his fame well, but the real kicker is the alleged fallout with Diddy and Will, who, according to rumors, were furious that Bryshere dared to walk away. Allegedly, they didn't take kindly to his departure and supposedly pulled some strings to blacklist him from the industry. Remember how Cassie spilled the tea about Diddy her career when she tried to leave? Well, if the rumors are to be believed, Bryshere faced a similar fate. Allegedly, Diddy and Will ruined his career as a form of revenge, and there are even whispers that they allegedly used to keep him silent. Ever wondered why Bryshere's career didn't soar despite having A-list mentors like Will Smith and Diddy? Well, the rumors suggest they might be the ones who allegedly kicked him out of the spotlight in the first place. And there's Lil Rod's lawsuit. With new names popping up left and right in the lawsuit, folks are starting to speculate whether Will Smith and Duane might find themselves in the mix sooner rather than later. According to the lawsuit, there are screenshots supposedly showing gatherings at Diddy's that included underage girls and more sex workers. And some of these ladies allegedly had their drinks tampered with at Diddy's direction. This legal bombshell also called out some other names, like about Diddy's right-hand woman, Christina Coram, Universal Music Group CEO Sir Lucian Grange, and former Motown Records CEO Ethiopia Habtemariam. They're all caught up in this legal whirlwind. Jones says in the lawsuit that Grange, Habtemariam, Motown Records, Love Records, and Universal Music Group effectively worked together with Combs in a RICO enterprise that failed to adequately monitor, warn, or supervise the actions of Combs, his son, and his chief of staff. A RICO enterprise is any individuals or groups that act together to violate the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act. And Jones isn't just looking for a slap on the wrist here, he's aiming high, seeking a cool $30 million in damages. But an attorney for Combs is slamming Jones' claims as pure fiction, straight up calling them out as a cheap ploy to grab headlines. We have overwhelming, indisputable proof that his claims are complete lies. Our attempts to share this proof with Mr. Jones' attorney Tyrone Blackburn have been ignored, as Mr. Blackburn refuses to return our calls, the attorney Sean Hawley said in a statement. We will address these outlandish allegations in court and take all appropriate action against those who make them. Now, according to Jones' lawsuit, he claims that back in August 2022, Diddy himself reached out to him to produce some tunes for the R&B album, The Love Album, Off the Grid, which ended up snagging a Grammy nomination after its release in September 2023. But here's the kicker. Jones says his life took a nosedive after he agreed to work with Diddy. Jones alleges that Combs' sex harassed and aided him while he lived with him at Combs' homes in Florida, Los Angeles, and New York, as well as on a yacht Combs rented in the U.S. Virgin Islands. The harassment in A included constant unsolicited and unauthorized and touching of his A, according to the lawsuit. Jones says he was forced to work in Combs' bathroom as Combs showered in a glass enclosure. When he tried to raise the alarm about Diddy's behavior to Christina Coram, Diddy's right-hand woman, Jones, claims she brushed it off as just friendly horseplay, stating that those acts were Mr. Combs' way of showing that he likes you. The lawsuit accuses Coram of aiding and abetting Combs' SA of Jones and of working with Combs to G-word him into accepting a homo relationship. Jones also alleges that he was forced to solicit SEX workers and perform SEX acts with them to please Combs. To aid in the alleged recruitment, Jones said, Combs provided him with an exclusive bad boy baseball cap and required him to wear it to a Miami establishment as a signal to any SEX worker he approached that Combs was in town and had sent Jones to recruit them. Jones alleges Combs, whom he describes in the suit as forceful and demanding and someone who does not take no for an answer, leveraged his power as one of the most influential people in hip-hop and business to intimidate him, including by to inflict bodily harm if Jones did not comply with his demands. On one occasion, Jones alleges, Combs forced him to watch as he displayed and bragged about getting away with shooting people. In a separate incident, Jones alleges, Combs shared that he was responsible for a shooting in a nightclub in New York City in 1999 with the rapper Shine, born Jamal Barrow. A jury acquitted Combs of possession and charges in connection with that incident, while Barrow was sentenced to 10 years in jail. Jones was terrified of Combs and felt he could not tell him no, according to the suit. Mr. Combs consistently made it clear that he has immense power in the music industry and with law enforcement, the lawsuit says. Jones says in the lawsuit that he has video and audio evidence to support some of the allegations. The lawsuit says that Combs required Jones to record him constantly, and that on several occasions, Combs took Jones's cell phone to record himself. As a result, Jones alleges he has hundreds of hours of video and audio records of Combs, his staff, and his guests engaging in serious illegal activity. Jones says in the suit that he believes Combs also him on February 2nd, 2023. He alleges he woke up dizzy and confused in bed with Combs and two SEX workers. In response to a request for comment, Jones's attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, used a Latin phrase, res ipsa loquitur, which loosely translates as, the thing speaks for itself, referring to the lawsuit. Jones says in the suit that he was under an implied work-for-hire agreement and was not compensated for the songs he produced on the Love album. As a result, the lawsuit says, Combs, Love Records, Motown Records, and Universal Music Group were all unjustly enriched at his expense. Guys, seriously, this lawsuit is off the charts. As we all know that before now, Diddy has been sued by 4 women who have accused him of S.A. Cassie, whose legal name is Cassandra Ventura, said Combs physically aided her and forced her to have SEX with male while he got off on it and recorded the encounters. The lawsuit was settled the day after it was filed. The settlement was in no way an admission of wrongdoing, Combs' lawyer Ben Braffman has said. Following Cassie's lawsuit, 2 other women, Liza Gardner and Joey Dickerson-Neal, have alleged in lawsuits that Combs aided them. And a woman identified as Jane Doe in court documents said Combs and 2 other men worded her when she was 17 and Combs was 34. Those 3 cases against Combs are still pending. In a statement in December, he denied the allegations, saying, enough is enough, and called the claims against him sickening. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth, he said in the statement. Well, with things heating up even more, it seems like this statement might not be doing you any favors, Diddy. Let us know what you guys think in the comments, and we'll catch you in the next video.